Hello, Salemites. Welcome to your daily dose of days. Hello. Testing out my new microphone. Okay, so today is Thursday, December the 29th. I thought they were going to just spread Gabi's wedding across, until tomorrow. But they don't time it to really have cliffhangers on Friday. Lots of times we have them on Thursdays. It's just the way they don't plan it like that, like lots of shows do. Anyway, Gabi's wedding, and yes, she confronts Li. Woo woo, OMG, the poo is gonna be all over the fan tomorrow. If we get to see a continuation of the wedding tomorrow, if it don't take us off on some kind of stupid crap. Anyway, she confronted Li, and that's how it ended, if you're here just for the highlights. But it's not going to be a very long video anyway. I already did a short on it. Okay, so wedding day jitters. Gabi's got them. She's so nervous. Ariana's nervous. Wendy is just biting her tongue because Gabi gave her this beautiful bracelet and is telling her how much, she lost her sister Ariana. If you all were watching it back in the day, I loved Ariana. And she is no more. She is not one of the lucky ones that got raised from the dead. Anyway, Wendy's just struggling with her conscience there. But lo and behold, Wendy is not the one to blow the whistle. Like some of the YouTube videos that I've seen go by on YouTube, they say Wendy's the one to stop the wedding. Yeah, I don't ever believe none of that unless it comes straight from the Days of Our Lives site. So anyway, and that's not what happened. So everything's going good. Rafe is at the hotel room with Li because Rafe is his best friend. So there they are. And the phone's ringing. And Li says, "Hey, Rafe, can you grab that phone for me?" And he's like, "Okay." He answers it. And who is it? Rolf. Dr. Death. Actually, he's Dr. Life, isn't he? He brings everybody back to life. Anyway, Rafe's like, "This is Sergeant Rafe Hernandez, and I'm wondering what you're doing calling Li." And he's like, I don't know what Rolf said, or if he said anything, or if it showed us him saying anything. And then Li comes out, and he's like, "Well, who is it? Is it the somebody he was expecting?" And he says, "No, it's Dr. Rolf, and he's asking to speak to you." So Li takes the phone, and he's like, "How did you get this number?" He's putting on a big act for Rafe because he can't let Rafe know that him and Dr. Rolf are, buds, bros, bras, whatever you want to call it. So, he's putting on this big act for Rafe, and he's saying, "No, absolutely not. This is my wedding day. Don't ever call here again." Well, Rolf is trying to warn Li that the serum that he gave Gabi and tried to give Wendy and Will, that old shot in the neck, the old Rolf move, the movie's famous for. And he's trying to tell Li, I have conducted some research, and the research shows that the G, whatever it is, it's a number, because he's a scientist, basically, a scientific doctor. So, chemist, more likely. But he is a doctor, and he's trying to tell him that some research he's done on that serum that he's sticking in everybody's necks to make them forget stuff only has a certain lifetime. It doesn't last forever. He was trying to tell him that it wears off, and he must have had some idea in what amount of time, because he was trying to he left him a message on his phone and told him Gabi should be running out any time or something like that. It was a sense of urgency. And, he wanted Li to have a heads up. Well, Li, he's always got his head up his butt. So, He blew him off. He didn't let Rolf tell him, and he didn't listen to his messages. It's his wedding day. So when he gets off the phone, Rafe's like, "What Dr. Rolf want with you?" And he's like, "I can't believe he had the nerve to ask me to fund his new laboratory." And I said, "No, absolutely not. I want nothing to do with him." And Rafe's just kind of looking at him, but he kind of blows it off, and off they go. Back at Rafe's house, where Wendy, Ariana, and Gabi, or the gals, are getting ready. They kicked off when Wendy first got over there. They were drinking some champagne and having some fun. Oh, man. Anyway, to be young. Anyway, they were just, having a lot of fun. She said Ari's as nervous as me. She's got a nervous stomach, so Wendy fixed her some tea. Well, Gabi comes back and says, "Oh my goodness, Ari's got a bug or something. She's throwing up. She's not even going to be able to go to the wedding, more than likely." So Gabi and Wendy are sat down at the table, and Gabi said, "I don't know what to do. Everyone I know is going to the wedding." Of course, my thoughts were, well, why don't you see if Eric will keep her, because he's watching Rachel, a.k.a. getting ready to kidnap her butt. So that's probably what we'll see tomorrow, maybe, is Eric kidnapping Rachel. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh my God, I forgot. It slipped right out of my head, and I made literally not even one line about today. It was just all so much. Oh, okay. So she ends up getting Sonny to come and get her, because Sonny's, not going to her wedding, I guess, because I would think he would go. But she said Sonny's going to come over and sit with her. But Wendy was telling her you could postpone the wedding. Meanwhile, it's showing back at the wedding venue, which I guess they've got the dinner. I've never seen a wedding like that. Oh, yeah, yeah. They've got the dinner tables right there. So everybody's not in a church. They're in something. Looks like a restaurant of some type. It's some kind of event center, I'm sure. And, because everybody's sitting at their tables, which they will be having dinner at after the ceremony. So, Lee and Rafe, they come in. And then comes the girls. Here comes Wendy. And then, of course, Gabi. And she looks stunning, of course. She's a beautiful girl. Anyway, she looks stunning. She gets down there. And the priest, or I don't know what his affiliation actually is. But he... Oh my goodness, that was fierce. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, I had a sneeze and I had a conniption fit, I think. That's what my dad used to call it. Anyway, they're going on with the ceremony. The minister is saying, he gets to this part, if there's anyone here that has any reason that these two should not be married. And Gabi looked at him and said, "I thought we took that part out." And I don't blame anybody for taking that out. I think everybody should take that out of their wedding vows. Nobody should have the right to come up and interrupt your wedding. Just my thoughts. So anyway, Wendy speaks up and says, "I have something to say." And I really believe when she said that, Gabi turned around and looked at her like, everybody was thinking, and even Johnny looked at her that he thought she's going to crack. And I think originally when she said it did interrupt, she had every intention of telling Gabi the truth. But Gabi turned around and she just said she just wanted to say how happy she was that Gabi was marrying her brother. And she considers her sister, some little nonchalant stuff there. So, and Gabi's like, "Thank you." And, Lee, he's got his butt in a knot, like he always does. I mean, he's tall. So, he's so tall. I wonder how tall he really is, because he seems to, tower over everyone. Oh, that sneezing got my nose going. So, Lee says to her, you could have done that at the reception, whatever he calls her. It's not Wendy. Wing Lee or something like that. I'm not even sure about that. And no offense intended. So, Gabi just like snaps at him and she's like, I thought it was beautiful and, it was sweet. Give her a break. Gabi's always standing up for Wendy. And, if I was Wendy, that jerk Lee, man, his life is over as we know it. I don't know what he's getting ready to do here, but we get on with it and they go on and, they say their vows and they say I do. So you think, oh, she's married to him now. And then Rafe comes around and it's given a toast. Well, even throughout the ceremony, when they were reciting saying their vows or agreeing to the vows, they didn't write their own vows. Whew. Gabi started having flashbacks of when she went to see Ralph. And she was standing there, I guess after they said I do, yeah, and was saying something. She was remembering stuff, and then she said she remembered the part where she had the scalpel to Ralph's neck. And he's so funny. And he's telling her, she's like, who did this? And he said, who knew about this or something? And she said, Kristen Demera. So she looked right at Kristen and he said, Kristen did it. And Kristen stood up and said, all right, so I was at the lab when Stefan woke up, but I was not the one that suggested brainwashing. But Gabi continued to tell that Kristen did want him brainwashed because, she wanted Chloe to get out of Brady's life so she could have Brady. And Brady's just looking at her like he knows that crap's true. He knows it's true because she's like, she's delusional. She doesn't know what she's saying. Oh, Kristen, she stays cool as a cucumber no matter what's happening. But I have a feeling she's about to get a little unrooted. So, it's still everything's running through Gabi's head. And then she keeps that scalpel to his neck and she's seeing it and she's hearing it in her mind. And then she's like, but who ordered you to brainwash him? And he said, it was your fiancé, Li Shin. And she's like, Lee? Lee's the one that had him brainwashed? Why? Why would he do that? And he said, because he didn't want, it was for his own personal benefits, I think is what he said. He might have said it was to keep you from Stefan. He didn't want to lose you or whatever. I don't remember exact word for word. And I didn't write it down. So, then she turned around and said, oh, it was you. It was you. And he's like, Gabi, let's go outside. You're confused. And she's like, no, it was you. You brainwashed Stefan to make him hate me. And everybody's eyes are just something like that. And that's how the show went off. Now, prior to that, Brady and Eric's little plan almost went awry because, well, Kristen wasn't going to go to the wedding. Because she said, well, you seen Marlena and John left. And he said, well, I forgot to tell you. I told them to go out. Eric offered to watch Rachel. And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, he don't have anything to do. And he'd love to help out. And, and she's like, okay. So she goes and gets dressed. Well, then, Brady hates her so much. He has a hard time taking her to this wedding, just acting like he likes her. And, he said something to hurt her feelings at the table. Well, he said several things about her being just a psycho, basically. But she said, well, you know what? I'm going to go back home where there's someone there that really appreciates me. You know, she's talking about Rachel. So he's like, no, 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 I'm sorry. You know, and he would never say that. He would say, go. You know, don't trip over your shoes on your own feet on the way over there. So he persuaded her to stay because, you know, Eric's getting ready to pack her up and take her butt to Florida. And I still don't know how that's going to pan out. So that happened prior to that. But I just wanted to do this video really about Gabi's wedding. Oh my gosh, she just looks so pretty. She's had... I love Gabi. I really do. I mean, she is a little powerhouse, man. And I just hate that she's getting gypped out of love like this. You know, she already lost her job now. I am of the opinion that I think one of the DeMera boys, or all of them, should be the people running the company. I don't think Lee should be running it. I don't think Gabi should be running it, even though she was married to Stefan. I think she could help run it. I don't think she should be the head of it. She could work there, you know, with her partner if she was still married to a DeMera. She is now married to a Shin, so I have a feeling that wedding is going to get annulled. And I will see you guys tomorrow in Salem. Subscribe if you have not. And make sure you look at the top of the page. Especially Twitter. And I started an Instagram page for this. I haven't put anything on the Instagram page yet. But I've had Twitter for quite a while. So hop on over. Make sure you subscribe. And we'll see you in Salem.